Hello and welcome to Scholar Fedu. This is our UTME prep series where we provide relatively detailed solutions and explanation to the UTME questions. And in this recording, we were looking at the UTME questions for biology for the year 2016. This is the second part of the recording where we're looking at the next 25 questions. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share our content, and visit our website at scholar.com to practice the UTME exam and modular quizzes. Alright, first question. The lowest unit of classification is the species is the lowest unit of classification. So the hierarchy of classification is we have the domain, kingdom, we have phylum in animals or division in plants. So we have phylum or division, then we have class, order, family, genus, species, and variety. So the highest is the domain and the lowest is variety. However, what is in discussion usually in school, especially at the O level, is from kingdom to species. Okay, so the domain is usually omitted. So we have kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. And again, if we narrow this down to the question, we see that the lowest, okay, from the options that we have is the species. Next question on cell and its environment. Two important processes involved in the absorption and transport of materials in plants are, that is, osmosis and diffusion. So they play a role in the transport, the movement of material. Next question on ecology. A series of organisms existing in an ecosystem to which energy is transformed can be referred to as, that would be a food chain. A food chain is a linear series of organisms to which energy is transferred, and the energy is transferred through food. Okay, usually from the food chain usually starts with the producer, and after the producer we have the consumers, and the consumers, it could be the primary consumer, the secondary consumer, the tertiary consumer, and then we have the decomposers, that is in a grazing food chain. So energy is transferred between these organisms through next question on cell and its environment. The cell organelle solely responsible for respiration is the aerobic cellular respiration occurs in the mitochondria, and the mitochondria is also called the powerhouse of the cell, because that is where the major energy in form of ATP, like the bulk of the energy, okay, in form of ATP, is generated by cellular respiration. If you look at the other options, the nucleus is that part of the cell that is like the control center of the cell. It contains genetic and hereditary material. The nucleus is an organelle inside the nucleus. The endoplasmic reticulum is also another organelle in the cell. It could be the rough endoplasmic reticulum, or it could be the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. But basically, the question, the cell organelle that is solely responsible for respiration, that is the mitochondria. It is responsible for aerobic cellular respiration. Next question in ecology. In which part of Nigeria is mangrove swamps found? They can be found in the Niger Delta, in the coastal region of the Niger Delta. Next, on genetics and variation. The inbreeding methods that are useful in selective breeding of animals and plants are, that is inbreeding and outbreeding. So inbreeding is, it has to do with the mating of animals that are closely related, okay, within a breed, while outbreeding is the mating of animals that are not related, that are not of the same breed. Next question on living organism. In a small unicellular organism, diffusion is sufficient for transport because the surface area to the volume ratio is large. Okay, so most unicellular organisms like the amoeba, the paramecium, they have a large surface area. Okay, and gas can easily diffuse between the environment and the cell. Okay, so they have a large surface area to volume. Next question on nervous system. The function of the spinal cord is to, it helps in the transmission of impulses to the brain. So the spinal cord and the brain forms what we call the CNS, the central nervous system. Okay, so the function of the spinal cord is to transmit nervous impulses or sensation to the brain. Next on evolution, the first vertebrates to venture out of water and live on land are are the amphibians. The amphibians, they are the foremost tetrapod, that is limbed vertebrate, that is vertebrate that have limbs, okay, to live on land. We have a website at scholar.com where you could practice exams for free, the UTME exam and the post UTME exam. It also features modular quizzes in physics, chemistry, and biology. So if you've studied a topic in any of the subjects and you want to test your understanding of the topic, you can head on to our website at scholar.com and take modular quizzes for free. Also, if you sign up on the website, it has a personalized dashboard where you could use to check your progress in learning. We also have interactive sessions on the website and on our social media platform. Freebies are also available to top performance on the website. Okay, so next question on ecology. Which of the following factors mostly determine the major biomes of the world? Temperature and rainfall are the two major factors that determine the biomes of the world. Next on adaptation and ecology. Which group of plants are especially adapted to grow under environmental conditions stated above? So we have strong winds, high temperature, dry and porous soil. That will be xerophytes. They are plants that grow in deserts or in arid lands, in dry lands, that is lands where there is limited supply of water. And such habitats are usually characterized by strong winds. Okay, the winds in arid lands are, they are very strong, and the temperature is very high relative to other habitats. It is very high, and the soil are usually dry and porous. So xerophytes, they are the plants that will go in such. Next on microorganisms, the lowest unit of a biogeographical plant species is, that is the microflora. The microflora is the lowest unit of a biogeographical plant species. Next on nutrition and the digestive system, which of the following is a rich source of vitamin K? That is milk. Milk, wheat, and nuts, they are rich in vitamin K. Next question on microorganisms. Severe diarrhea, dehydration, and weakness are symptoms of. These are common symptoms of cholera. Diarrhea, that is constant stooling, dehydration, and weakness. Next on classification. A common characteristic found among the crustaceans is the possession of. The crustaceans, they usually have two pairs of antennae. The possession of two pairs of antennae. Next question on living organism. In which of the following groups of invertebrates are flagella and cilia found? The flagella and cilia, they are locomotive devices. That is, they are organelles that these organisms, the organism possessing them, use in moving. For example, Iglana has flagella, which is used in moving. The paramecium has cilia, and you basically find these two in protists. Next question on genetics and variation. Physiological variation in human population is evidence in the ability to roll the tongue. An example of this physiological variation is the ability to roll the tongue. So we have people who can roll their tongue into a kind of like cylindrical form, and there are people who cannot roll their tongue. It's a physiological. Next on nutrition. In photosynthesis, oxygen is liberated during. The oxygen that is liberated during photosynthesis is produced from photolysis. Photolysis is the process by which water molecule is split in the presence of light into oxygen and hydroxyl ion. Okay, so oxygen is liberated or produced during photosynthesis by the process of photolysis. You can also join our online tutorial classes for different classes. We have tutorials for students in SS1, 2, or 3. We also have for UTME candidates, for JAMB candidates, for students who want to write the JAMB or the UTME exam, and for those who want to have the post-UTME exam after the UTME exam, and also for candidates that are sitting for WAEC exam or GCE or NECO. And we offer this tutorial on various platforms, so you could join us on WhatsApp, or on Telegram, it could be on Zoom or on Google Classroom. So we have various platforms where we take our tutorial. The links to join the platform are available on our website at scholar.com, or you could also check it out in the video description below. Okay, so here we have a diagram, and we use the diagram to answer the question. The question here is, what is the total height of rice that grew within the years of cultivation? Okay, so we have height of rice on this axis and the years of cultivation on this axis, and we have to find the total height of rice that grew within the year of cultivation. So what we do is we basically sum up the height of rice, okay, that grew in each year. So for example, in the first year we have, this is between 50 and 60, that will be 55. In the next year we have 50. In year 3 we have 60. In year 4 we have 40, and in year 5 we have 35, right? Yeah, 35. That's between 30 and 40. So we have 50, like 55 plus 50 plus 60 plus 40 plus 35, that is 240 centimeters. Using the same diagram, the question is, what is the average of the height of rice within the period of cultivation? So the average height will also mean like the mean height of the rice. And how do we get that? That would simply be the total. It will be the total height of the rice, which we've calculated in the previous question to be 240. Okay, that's by adding up all of this: 55 plus 50, 60, 40, 35, and all of that. So that gives us 240. So the average height or the mean height is now going to be the total, which is 240, divided by the number of years that it took. Okay, number of years, and there we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 240 divided by 5, and that is 48 centimeter. Next question, we have the diagram, and the question is, the type of vertebrae represented in the diagram is, that is, we have to identify this vertebrae. So the vertebrae, they are the bones of the spine. Okay, this is one of the bones of the spine, and this one that we have here is the lumbar vertebrae. The lumbar vertebrae, which is the one that is like at the mid region of of the bones of the spine, in the mid region. The bones of the vertebrae starts with the atlas and the axis, okay, which are bones of the cervical vertebrae. Okay, then we have the thoracic, and then we have the lumbar. Okay, then we have the sacrum, and then we have the coccyx. This is the sacrum and then the coccyx. Okay, so this one that we have here, this diagram here, is the lumbar vertebrae. That's, if you look at it from another angle, it is the lumbar vertebrae. Next, using the same diagram, so the question is the structure labeled A, that is this part here labeled A, is that part labeled A is called the neural canal. The neural canal, which is the part of the bone of the spines, the bones of the spine, through which the spinal cord runs. That is the spinal cord, okay, inside the spine, like the bones of the spine runs through this part here. Okay, this neural canal. It's also called the vertebral foramen. And as you can see in this diagram here, so we have the vertebral foramen or the neural canal, where the spinal cord runs through. Next question on adaptation. Strong, short, and conical beak to pick and crush seeds is an adaptative feature in the weaver bed. Okay, so basically birds, they have different types of beak, and the structure of the beak, the design of the beak is depends on the food of choice of that bird. So for example, birds like weaver bird that pick and crush seed, they usually have, their beaks are usually strong and short. They are strong, they are short, they are also blunt. They have blunt beak. Okay, but birds like owl and hawk, okay, which are like carnivores and they basically hunt animals, they usually have hooked beak. Their beaks are usually hooked, okay, and that is for like holding the prey. O's, okay, they have short curved downward facing beak that is hooked at the end. Okay, the dog's beak is not conical, it is flat and it is broad. Okay, so the weaver bead, yeah, is what fits this description here. It has a strong, short and conical beak. Next question on respiration. The path followed by air as it passes through the lungs in mammals is. So it starts with the trachea, okay, which is the largest airway. So air first gets to the trachea. From the trachea it goes into the bronchi. Okay, there are extensions away from the trachea. So from the trachea into the bronchi, then from the bronchi into smaller extensions, okay, the bronchioles, and it ends up in the alveoli. Okay, the alveoli, which is where the actual gaseous exchange takes place, the alveoli. So we have the trachea to the bronchi, then to the bronchioles, and finally to the alveoli. Next question on classification, and this is the last question for this year. In which of the following species is the biomass of an individual the smallest? That is the Spirogyra. The Spirogyra has the smallest biomass. Okay, from the options that we have here, the Spirogyra has the smallest biomass also. Okay, don't forget to check out our playlist. We have different playlists. We have for full solutions to UTME or JAMB questions and in physics, chemistry and biology. We also have for modular quizzes as well. Okay, we'll also have a playlist for post UTME or post JAMB exam, and also for crash courses in physics, chemistry and biology. So don't forget to check out our playlist for the available videos. So that's it for this recording. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Scholar Fedu. Okay, like and share our content, and visit our website at scholar.com to practice UTM exam and modular quizzes for free. Thank you.